Yeah, wish is Stephanie. Wow, can you see that sunshine? Check this out. It's a blue sky day in Nanjing. From the 1 year experience 6 years ago when I lived here, I can tell you this does not happen that often. And yet I feel like we've had 2 or 3 days of this. I do have to block out some of the sun because I want to show you something on a screen, and that's going to make it difficult. So I did wake up yesterday, not as early as I'd like, but I did. And I did the 2 of the 3 things that I did the day before. So it looks like pronunciation and vocabulary is easier for me to do in the morning. And sitting down reading and going through the graded reader and looking up words and things, that's not working in the morning. So I have to figure out time later in the day to do it. I'm thinking that might be a pre-night time, pre-bed kind of non-screen mental experience to exhaust me so I go to sleep quickly, which sounds pretty awesome. So I have to start incorporating that into my routine. Probably not tonight, probably as of tomorrow night. But I do want to show you very quickly what I've kind of combined 2 apps that I have into something interesting. I think interesting. I'm going to call it a flashcard video. A flashcard video, da da da. Right? So here we go. Oh, that's part of my head. Okay, so here we go. I'll tell you the really quick background of it. So you know I've been using Anki, and I'll show you quickly what that looks like. I have many different decks in Anki. The one I've been working on forever and ever has been the Radicals, and it shows you the thing you're supposed to translate. And then I added the sound from Forvo, the picture from usually Google Images, and the pinyin and tone, the translation into English, and some examples of when it's used. Right? And then you pick at the bottom how you feel about it, and it goes to the next one. And it does next, next, next. But you do have to have your phone near you to be able to press all those buttons. And what I found is I don't know if it's, whoops, shoot, I don't want to kill my phones. What I found is that my wrists hurt. And I've had this happen before when I used to do a lot of writing. That's an interesting, I needed to close the blinds more. I did find that this happened when I used to do a lot of writing, when I used to do a lot of blogging. So I think I need to revamp how I use my mobile phones, which means I need to break out my selfie stick instead of what I'm doing now, which is kind of cramping my hand like this to hold the mobile phone. So I have to find different ways to do this, because if it's the beginning of carpal tunnel, I do not want it to continue. Last time this happened, it happened for a few months, and it was more of a bicycle thing on how I was holding my hands on the bicycle handles, which is what handles are called. So I got to figure out what to do with that. So in addition to the wrist issue, I also noticed that in one of my, in the Pinyin trainer that I'm using, and I'm going to show you in a second. Oh, I need to pause it. I don't want it yet. In one of the Pinyin trainer, actually the primary Pinyin trainer that I'm using, they do more of a video thing. And let me show you what I mean. So they have, this is meant to practice the tones. And let me see if I can get the whole screen. Here we go. So up here you have the character, you have the pinyin and tone, and you get to pick how many times you want to hear this in Chinese and how many times you want to hear it in English. And then when you press play,
高兴，高兴，
happy, glad,
现在，
and it just goes through one after another of the vocabulary that you pick. And it's similar to Anki where you pick certain decks. I'm picking decks that they have. I don't know if you can make your own in there. I certainly have no desire to really do that because I have Anki for the specific stuff I have. So I'm just using HSK desks that they have in there. I cannot speak. It's like a 6:28 in the morning, guys. Anyway, so I'm using decks that are already in there. So what I thought was, man, wouldn't it be good if my Anki deck could be like that, so I wouldn't have to hold the phone and press all of those buttons. I could just watch it. So if there was a video that would have the beginning of the deck, then pause while I think, then it would go to the rest of the deck that showed me the information. Wouldn't that be great? And I thought, oh, I have a screen video recorder that I've been using to show you some of the apps that I've been using, and I thought, I wonder how long it would let me record for And you know where this is going. I made my first flashcard video. So it's AZ screen recorder, and so far I haven't found something it wouldn't let me do. I'm pretty happy with this. It was absolutely free app. I have an Android, and I don't know if they have an Apple version, but now that I've already made the video, I just go into the files, and there it is. And so instead of having to click on everything, and I did this for all the radicals instead of just the time-spaced ones, all the ones I have so far. And see, my hand's over here, and I'm not touching anything. That's the video. Okay, so the one downfall of it is that the sound doesn't turn out as good as if I'm just doing it on the phone. However, also, and I noticed that I didn't give myself enough time to think when I first showed the character. So I'm going to redo it. I'm going to redo it often, actually, because I haven't color-coded all of the excuse me, I haven't color-coded all the tones yet, and I still have about 100 more radicals to add to it. So as I change the deck, I'll re-record it each time. I might do smaller ones right now. I have 109 radicals in that video, and it's 13 minutes, and I did all of that this morning already. And that may seem like a passive way to do it, but it actually is pretty freeing. My hands were free, which helps the wrists, and also I could more easily look at the screen when I needed to, but if I knew the word, I could just let my mind bring the picture up, and I could guess the tone and then quickly look at the video. So it was actually really, really helpful. What I'm thinking I might actually do too is make it so long in the beginning, once I see the character, I might actually give myself time to draw without having to pause the video. So I need to see how long that would be. So I might actually draw the character and then think of the meaning in the picture, or probably at the same time is probably what's going to happen in my brain. But I'm pretty excited about having my hands free. I don't think writing's going to bring up the same wrist issue as holding a mobile phone like this would do, because that really, yeah, I can't believe I was doing that for 16 weeks and it's only started to hurt. So I think that's pretty cool. So the pain from the wrist actually pushed me to do something that actually is more interesting to me, which instead of just pressing a button is tracing the character. So I wouldn't be tracing actually, I'd probably be doing it freehand. So they'll look awful, but that's one of my favorite parts of the language are the characters themselves, the hands. So I'm pretty excited about this flashcard video. Today was the first day I tested it out in its full 13-minute form. And like I said, the video is going to change a lot from well, not from day to day. I'm not going to re-record every day. But as I change the Anki deck, I'm going to do that. And I'd like to do this with a lot of my different decks, not just the radical one. So I'm pretty excited. I don't think this is going to replace it because the time-space thing is moot now on the video. So I think this is in addition to the few that it tells me I need to do because I'm about to forget them every day. I'll do this video in its entirety. I find that right now I'm forgetting more than I remember, so I want to do both the time-space repetition and all of the characters in certain decks. I know that seems to go against the time-space repetition thing, but this is my brain, and my brain is not working quite as well as the time-space repetition wants it to. So we're just going to go with what works. Anyway, so I did do that this morning, and I did the pinion trainer for 30 correct tone combination thingies, and I listened to that Renee song that I really like about 3 times. So I think I did some pretty good studying considering I need to be at breakfast 3 minutes ago and leaving for work at 7 o'clock in the morning. So this morning Chinese is working really well. Now, I have started this when I'm in a hotel room by myself and not at home in my tiny apartment with my husband. So we'll see what happens with this in the morning. I don't know if I'm going to be as excited about doing this when I have to wear headphones. Out of respect, I mean, who wants to wake up, when you're not studying a language, who wants to wake up to somebody else's sounds from their phone when they're studying a language? So we'll see how it goes this weekend and whatnot. It wouldn't have to be every day because when I travel, I can do this without headphones in my hotel room, but when I don't travel, I will need to do this with headphones, which is a little more cumbersome because I tend to put it on the counter as I'm getting ready when I don't need headphones, and I can't do that if I do. So I might need to have some sort of geeky contraption where my phone's hanging from me and then I'm walking around getting ready. I don't know. I feel like an inventor right now. I'm just inventing all kinds of different ways to get 20 to 30 minutes of studying in the morning. All right, so thank you very much. I'm going back to Shanghai today. I have never been so excited to go back to Shanghai. I don't usually work 5 days away from home, and I'm feeling like I miss my neighborhood. Craziness, absolute craziness. Never would have guessed that when I left China last time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this, and have a great weekend. I'll probably still be uploading videos, but I want to tell you that before the weekend starts. Oh! A lot of you are in the US, so you're a day behind me, but I don't care. I'm still going to wish you a happy weekend anyway. All right, 再见.